Vision procedure. A comprehensive evaluation is performed before the LASIK procedure. Dr. Gelman then applies these precise calculations unique to your eye using state-of-the-art technology to give you the best possible vision. Affordable payment options are available. Call for an appointment with board-certified ophthalmologist Dr. Gelman, a specialist in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery. Your life doesn't have to be limited by the hassles of wearing glasses or contact lenses. Eye surgeon Dr. Rachel Gelman offers LASIK, a life-changing vision procedure. A comprehensive evaluation is performed before the LASIK procedure. Dr. Gelman then applies these precise calculations unique to your eye using state-of-the-art technology to give you the best possible vision. Affordable payment options are available. Call for an appointment with board-certified ophthalmologist Dr. Gelman, a specialist in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery. Your life doesn't have to be limited by the hassles of wearing glasses or contact lenses. Eye surgeon Dr. Rachel Gelman offers LASIK, a life-changing vision procedure. A comprehensive evaluation is performed before the LASIK procedure. Dr. Gelman then applies these precise calculations unique to your eye using state-of-the-art technology to give you the best possible vision. Affordable payment options are available. Call for an appointment with board-certified ophthalmologist Dr. Gelman, a specialist in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery. Your life doesn't have to be limited by the hassles of wearing glasses or contact lenses. Eye surgeon Dr. Rachel Gelman offers LASIK, a life-changing vision procedure. A comprehensive evaluation is performed before the LASIK procedure. Dr. Gelman then applies these precise calculations unique to your eye using state-of-the-art technology to give you the best possible vision. Affordable payment options are available. Call for an appointment with board-certified ophthalmologist Dr. Gelman, a specialist in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Border to Border Live with Rudy Mireles. I'm Rudy. Thanks so much to those of you joining me live on Facebook, YouTube. I see folks coming in on TikTok right now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It is 12 p.m. here, Rio Grande Valley Central Standard Time on this Monday, December 16th. And welcome to the show. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was Friday the 13th. Hope nothing unlucky happened to you on this holiday edition of Friday the 13th this past weekend. And also you have like 3 days to get the mail out if you want to get gifts out in time. I think it's like 3 days, unless you're going to be paying a lot of extra money to get that stuff out. I haven't sent anything out, of course, because I'll probably wait until January because I'm terrible at procrastination. So much to get to today, though. Don't want to procrastinate too much on the show. The big one is it's a Your Money Monday. And this week's topic is this week's Federal Reserve Federal Open Market Committee meeting. Economists are expecting some rate cuts, some interest rate cuts. So what does that really actually mean for us here at home, right? So we'll take a look at that a little later, along with a look at gas prices and a look at the forecast around the valley. As always, Border to Border is powered by Gelman Vision. From LASIK to cataracts, board-certified cornea specialist Dr. Rachel Gelman wants to help you change the way that you see the world. Call 956-302-1015 or visit gelmanvision.com to schedule a consultation today. And right down here is a QR code that takes you straight to Dr. Gelman's website. If you want to learn more about what she can do for you, just go ahead, click that QR code to use your phone. Well, I guess you're using your phone, but you get it. And as some of you may know, I'm now working in real estate, kind of using my data science, marketing knowledge, and passion to help you sell, buy, or invest here in the Rio Grande Valley. I'm a big believer in data and what data can do for us when we're making big financial decisions like that. So that being said, with the professionalism, integrity, and the hard work that you've come to know and expect as the standard for me, I'll help you buy, sell, or invest right here in the Valley. So give me a call, 956-230-7733, rudymireles.com. Let's make your life goals a reality together. Today's top story is the Rio Grande Valley Humane Society, and this is a terrible time for it because it's the holidays. They are at full capacity and they cannot take in any more animals as of the last update. Now, from what I've heard, they're working hard to prepare for rescue transports, but they still need a lot of help from the community. They're asking for donations like puppy food, adult dog food, crates. You can drop stuff like that off at their mission location. That's at 227 Avelino Farias Street. This one's kind of personal for me because my wife actually sits on their board, and I see firsthand the amazing work that they're doing over there to save animals. Everyone that's, on the staff, to the volunteers, to even the folks, like I know people come by and just volunteer their time to walk, like their organizations, their businesses volunteer a day to come out there and help with the animals. So, a lot of folks doing a lot of hard work, but they really rely on support from the community to keep that going. So, at home, we've got 5 dogs ourselves, from a German Shepherd to a Chihuahua, that either we pulled off the street or someone was getting ready to dump. We're always helping the cats. I know that's not, a lot of folks aren't able to do stuff like that on a continuous basis. But if you can help with maybe even just a bag of dog food, drop it over there, because the Humane Society is doing everything they can, but they need us to kind of help. So if you can't donate, at the moment, but maybe in the future, consider adopting or fostering too. And if you have the means to do more than just donate for one time this holiday season, maybe you can go down there and maybe step up and bring one of those animals home forever, give them a forever home. So they're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Mission. So hopefully we can help them out. In Edinburgh, the fire department wants to help folks stay safe this holiday season by installing some free smoke and carbon monoxide detectors for folks who qualify. Now, we've talked about this before. It's one of my biggest concerns around the holiday season. It's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. You always see it the very next day. Someone's house was unfortunately burned down, or when the cold weather comes, even just for a night, people would say, one night with the chimenea or the barbecue inside the house to keep us warm isn't going to hurt anything. And then we find out the next day that, either someone lost their home to a fire or lost their lives in a carbon monoxide by carbon monoxide poisoning. So we got Christmas lights, lots of food cooking inside and outside the house. Again, cold weather with those heaters, things can get dicey right now. And so Edinburgh Fire Lieutenant Adrian Cisneros told local media that these alarms are critical, especially when we're asleep, right? And less likely to notice the danger. With the holidays being a busy time for fire and emergency calls, prevention is key. Smoke detectors can save precious minutes in an emergency and save lives. So remember, maybe you're thinking, I already got smoke detectors, I'm fine. They only last about 10 years, and you need to be replacing their batteries twice a year to make sure they're working. So if you're interested, for more information to see if you qualify, you can call the Edinburgh Fire Department 956-383-7691 to see if you qualify. And if you have any questions about your fire or your smoke alarms, regardless of what city you live in, I'm sure you can call your fire department. They'd love to help you out. Have some election news from some runoffs that happened over the weekend to pass along to you. Harlingen voters decided 3 city commission races in Saturday's runoff election, with all 3 incumbents holding on to their seats by pretty slim margins. In District 3, Commissioner Mike Mesmar, a financial analyst, won his 5th term with 52% of the vote, beating attorney Frank Lozano by just 26 votes. So Mesmar's now been on the commission since 2013. You won't be seeing a whole lot of stuff like that in some cities like Brownsville. I don't remember if you remember a couple years ago, they're actually putting term limits on their city commission. I know some other cities are looking into possibly doing the same. So District 4 saw a unique runoff after candidate Basilio Chino Sanchez passed away shortly after earning his spot in the race. His place was filled by Beto Peña, an investigator for the Cameron County District Attorney's Office, but incumbent Frank Morales, a former salesman, kept his seat with 56% of the vote. And in District 5, Commissioner Rene Perez, a school teacher, narrowly won re-election with 52% of the vote, defeating Reserve Deputy Constable Nikki Alvarez Daniel. Turnout was pretty low in this one. If you know anything, we've talked about turnout in the past. I talked when I worked in some of the TV station here, and I've talked about turnout on this before. When we kind of started doing these podcasts, I talked about this on election week was our first week, so we did a lot about the turnout. But turnout was low with this one. Only about 7% of eligible voters in those Harlingen Commission races actually participated. Most ballots were cast earlier by mail, with just 500 votes on election day itself. These close races kind of really just show you how much every single vote truly matters in local elections. Over in Weslaco and Hidalgo County, voters have chosen Pete Garcia Jr. as their new commissioner at large in the December 14th runoff election. He secured the win with 1,431 votes, edging out Dominic A. Reyna, who received 1,321 votes. So 110 extra votes there, according to the unofficial results. Close race there, both candidates focusing on key issues. Reyna is an entrepreneur who ventures across the valley, and he highlighted economic growth during his campaign, while Garcia emphasized his experience and dedication to the community. The results mark pretty competitive race, man. 110 votes there, or 110 votes separating the two gentlemen. With Garcia is now set to take on the role of commissioner. Let's take a look at the average gas prices from across the valley now. Let me pull up my handy dandy map, courtesy of AAA. There we go. Just so you guys can kind of get an idea here, I like pulling this up for those of you watching the podcast and not just listening. And thank you so much for those of you listening. For those of you that may be just interested in the audio version of this, so you can just kind of play it as you go along doing whatever it is you want to do, you can look for Border to Border Live with Rudy Mireles on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I believe the iHeartRadio app as well. But for the visual folks, there's the map for you. Let's take a look. It's check these right before I came on the air, 245.3 in Cameron County. So that's down just, a hair. You're not even going to feel the difference there. 244.9 in Hidalgo County. Same thing, staying about the same. 249 in Starr County. And Willacy County is sitting at 244.6 for a valley average of 245.6 as we start the work week, according to the American Automobile Association. And for the start of your work week weather-wise, I'm going to walk through this one, all right? Take me a second here. Let me get back over to my board here, my fancy board. All right, so taking a look at weather for the start of your work week. It's going to be warm today in San Juan. You got some sun throughout the day across the valley. High of 84 degrees there specifically. Now let's take a look at tonight in Brownsville. It's going to be clear with some clouds tonight there, low of 67 degrees, but take a look at the Gulf over here. See that green? That's about a 15 to 25% chance of rain according to the National Weather Service, right? And that's going to start creeping in as well as we get in slowly but surely to tomorrow. Look at that. It's just a little bit closer, that green. As it creeps in towards the coast, South Padre Island, they're going to be looking at 75 degrees. Some sun and cloud mix if you're out there tomorrow. But by Wednesday, the National Weather Service is thinking showers here and there and everywhere across the valley, especially by the coastal regions. As you can hear, Tuesday night, overnight into Wednesday, that green is going to start hitting those coastal areas of both Cameron and Willacy counties for sure. But that is a look at headlines today, your gas prices today, your weather for the next couple days. But don't go anywhere because, like I said at the beginning of the newscast, or show rather, it's a show now. Sorry, still getting used to this thing. It's a Your Money Monday, and today we're going to look at the potential Fed interest rate cut later this week and what it actually means for folks that live here in the Valley. None of this national breakdown, oh, this is what it means for the overall. Okay, let's just focus on what this means for us. That's what we're going to do it when we come back. This is Border to Border Live with Rudy Mireles, back in less than 2 minutes.
Your life doesn't have to be limited by the hassles of wearing glasses or contact lenses. Eye surgeon Dr. Rachel Gelman offers LASIK, a life-changing vision procedure. A comprehensive evaluation is performed before the LASIK procedure. Dr. Gelman then applies these precise calculations unique to your eye using state-of-the-art technology to give you the best possible vision. Affordable payment options are available. Call for an appointment with board-certified ophthalmologist Dr. Gelman, a specialist in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery. Your life doesn't have to be limited by the hassles of wearing glasses or contact lenses. Eye surgeon Dr. Rachel Gelman offers LASIK, a life-changing vision procedure. A comprehensive evaluation is performed before the LASIK procedure. Dr. Gelman then applies these precise calculations unique to your eye using state-of-the-art technology to give you the best possible vision. Affordable payment options are available. Call for an appointment with board-certified ophthalmologist Dr. Gelman, a specialist in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery.
Welcome back to the program. Has some breaking or developing at least news to tell you about right now. The Brownsville Fire Department, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen there is the map, Google Maps. This is a live look. Now, the Brownsville Fire Department is working to clear an accident involving a semi-trailer right there on FM 11 near Devon Drive, and you can see the it's not at a dead standstill. They're clearing the area and there is traffic moving, but if you have some business that takes you through that area on FM 511, and it's in between Highway 48 and FM 550 out there, just about a little north of the Lowe's on 511. Just be careful out there. There's always a lot of trucks moving along out there, all that. Just if you're heading out that way, just keep an eye out for emergency folks clearing that truck right now. I'm trying to look for some more incident info, but it looks like it was a gravel truck that spilled gravel. So just stay clear of that area if you can. Welcome back to Border Live with Rudy Mireles. I'm Rudy Mireles. Border to Border is powered by Gelman Vision. Have questions about LASIK? call Dr. Rachel Gelman, 956-302-1015, or visit gelmanvision.com today to schedule a consultation. Now, one of the things that we were talking about, so Your Money Monday, gonna hopefully start doing things like this soon, more themed things, because really what we've talked about is how I want to empower you guys with the knowledge that's easy to understand so you can make better decisions, whether that be for your long-term goals, whether it be for your short-term goals, whatever it may be. So that's what we're doing today. And this week, we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve's Federal Open Market Committee, or the FOMC, as it's called. They're expected to cut interest rates by 1/4 percentage point, bringing the federal funds rate to a range of 4.25% to 4.5%. So now it's a lot of percentages. It's a lot of, words that we don't use on an everyday basis. So let's break down what it means for our wallets, especially if we're living down here in the Valley. Now I'm kind of fine tuning this using the economic data available for Cameron, and Hidalgo counties, but you can kind of extrapolate on your own, if you live in Willacy or Starr counties. While they are different slightly, we're all one place down here, right? So let's start simple. What are interest rates? Well, the federal funds rate is like the price the banks pay to borrow money from each other overnight. And when that price changes, it affects the prices for all kinds of borrowing, like mortgages, credit cards, car loans. And it also impacts the interest we earn in anything we have on savings, whether it be a little bit or a lot. It's going to impact us. Now, so how does it hit our wallet? Well, think of it this way. If the cost of borrowing for banks goes down, they're likely to charge you less for a loan. They charge you with interest. So the interest rate might come down. But on the flip side of that, they also pay you less for keeping your money in savings. So it's a little bit of a give and take, right? It's everything works synergetically. Now, mortgages and housing in the Valley. So in Cameron and Hidalgo counties, housing is already a concern for a lot of first-time home buyers, right? A lot of folks are saying, pricing homes are becoming unaffordable. Well, a rate cut could mean mortgage interest rates might tick down a little bit, which would lower monthly payments on a new home loan. So let's say you're looking to buy a home for $200,000. The average in the Valley is right now, I want to say around $246 to $264, but let's just use a round number like 200. All right. So let's say you're looking to buy a home for $200,000, and there are a lot of homes in that price range here in the Valley. And that rate drops by just 0.5%. That could save you $50 to $100 on your mortgage, right? Now, when we talk about gas prices, we're talking cents. So over a month, a good steep price drop in gas could save you realistically like $15 to $20. That's great, right? Every dollar, every cent counts. But now we're talking, $50 to $100 a month on your mortgage. And over a year, let's say it's $100, that's $1,200. That could be utility bills. That could be your tax payments, which is, always a problem in the state of Texas with our property taxes being so high in this state, much higher than places like California, for example. Now, again, that money's helpful, but here's the flip side. Because rates are lower, let's say I was just waiting for, what I could afford to come down just a hair to be within my budget. Well, now that I can enter the market, I wasn't in the market 2 weeks ago, a month ago. Now I'm in the market, which is increasing that demand for homes, especially in popular neighborhoods. So if everyone suddenly sees homes as more affordable, those prices could start to climb again. And we've talked about this. Prices in homes, yes, on some homes, on your home, maybe the price will come down at some point, but maybe that's because it was priced incorrectly to begin with. It's not a reflection that prices on all homes are coming down. And in fact, in the Valley, while we're seeing a lot of peaks and valleys nationwide, here in the Valley, we're just seeing a steady growth when it comes to home prices, right? It's not huge where it's, really cutting a lot of people out of the market in huge swaths like it is in other markets across, not even, just the nation, but here in the state. But it is slowly ticking up, which is good and bad because you don't really necessarily want that. But for the folks that may be just getting priced out, edged out, because you're a smaller subsect of the community of the market, you a lot of focus is lost on you. So, that's, the ups and downs of that. So while your monthly payment may be lower, the sticker price of the home could go up in our region, again, where the housing supply is not terribly limited. It's still growing. Some of those buyers that we were just talking about could be pushed out altogether. So what about everyday loans, right? Not everybody's looking to buy a house. It's the holiday season. So maybe, in the upcoming new year, you're maybe looking to, buy a new car, or maybe you're, credit cards, you're putting some things on credit cards, which, I can sit here, or any financial person, management analyst, whatever, can sit here. Not that I'm those things, but anybody can sit here. Oh, don't use credit cards. Don't do that. If you can't pay with cash, you can't afford it. But I live in the real world where people use credit cards. So what does that mean for us? Lower interest rates can actually make it cheaper to borrow for other things like a car, or consolidating all of our credit card debt. If you've been putting off a car upgrade, now might be a good time to start shopping for a loan if that rate drop happens. So a 0.5% drop in your car loan rate could save you hundreds of dollars over the life of the loan. And we're talking hundreds of dollars. This is where the financial management aspect comes in. If you're saving $400 a year on your auto loans, or whatever it may be, more than that, put that aside in like a little, save it for emergencies, save it for gas, use it for gas. It's kind of like, okay, I was already going to spend this on the car. Let's keep using it for the car so I can put some more money in savings, put some more money towards gifts for Christmas, put some more money towards paying down debt, things like that. Now, so for people already juggling that credit card debt, though, a rate cut might lower the interest on your variable rate cards. And there's a lot of those out there, especially here in the Valley, a lot of variable rate cards, a lot of variable rate interest loans, at payday loan type places. So if you're carrying a balance, it could save you a few bucks each month, money that could go down toward paying your principal faster. So, that could help pay down your overall debt there. But you got to be careful, because lower rates can also tempt you to borrow more. Like, oh, low interest rate, new credit card, light it up, brother. So be careful, because that could be trouble for you if interest rates then go back up, 6 months, a year from now. It's still a lot of uncertainty. And this isn't a comment on the administration or what I think of the administration. This is just a comment on the facts. There's still a lot of uncertainty around the new economic plan, especially with all the tariff talk going forward. So, this rate cut could potentially have been bigger. We will never know, obviously, because we don't work on the Fed or at the Fed. But, the rates could jump back up. You never know. Now, savings and investment. Now, here's where it starts to sting for those of you that have been doing right. Not doing right, but doing the best thing you can do, and doing it by the book, I should say. Because there's no, I really hate to use the word hate, but I hate it when people say doing it right. And it's like, no, people are doing it right according to what they can do. They're doing their best. Nobody wants to not have savings, right? Nobody doesn't want to have stocks. Nobody doesn't want to have savings. They're doing the best that they can do. So here is where it hurts for those of you that if you've been checking the boxes according to the plans that the experts say are the best, where it could hurt you. And we were talking about those savings, right? So when the Fed cuts rates, banks often lower the interest rate that they pay on savings accounts and CDs. And you've been earning, let's say if you've been earning 4% on a savings account, that might drop to 3.5% or even lower. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but over time, it means your money is growing more slowly. And maybe that money that you have sitting in your savings account, part of that is going to be for your down payment. So now you're taking all that money out that has been building interest, right? So that builds interest a little slower now because you're building interest with a smaller number. And then on top of that, if interest rates go down, that means your already smaller chunk of change you had in savings is now growing at an even slower rate. For example, on a $10,000 savings account, a 0.5% drop in interest is $50 less in annual earnings. So that's dinner out or a tank of gas. Essentially, think of it like this, right? The way I like to explain it to folks is, let's say you're playing football, Madden. You're playing Madden on Xbox, and you're 6 points behind your opponent. But some factor inside the game world changed. So now your touchdown that you just scored isn't actually worth 6 points anymore. It's only worth 5 points. And you have to, it's only worth 4 points rather, and you have to go for 2 just to tie. at the very end of the game. So that's kind of what it's like there. Now, for retirees or anyone who actually depends on the interest income, it can really squeeze some budgets for you. It's like getting a pay cut for simply saving your money. So in essence, for those older folks, and we do have a lot of winter Texans here, the folks that have retired and are kind of living off that interest, maybe you've already downsized. Maybe it's worth considering downsizing again, or maybe it's worth considering, something else. So there's a lot of things, a lot of folks affected in I hate to call it a negative way, but it can get a little tougher for the folks that are doing things, if quote unquote, by the book. So jobs in the local economy. So it has, again, a lot of factors are impacted by these Fed rate cuts. And it's not just how we're impacted as consumers as far as like how much we're paying, out of our wallets, the price of eggs in the moment, right? But it can also really boost the economy here locally by encouraging spending and investment. So in the Valley, that might mean businesses could find it easier to get loans to either start, to expand. Maybe there's a place that said like, hey, we're doing really well. We just, can't afford to move into a bigger place and hire new staff. Well, this could be an opportunity for those business owners to do that. So what does that mean? More jobs. The service economy, the healthcare economy, and the tourism is slowly growing, but healthcare and service economy are two of our biggest job sectors here in the Valley. So that's just adding more to it. Now, but here's the catch again on the flip side of that. So lower rates don't solve all the economic challenges. In our region, we still have lower than average wages. Again, commenting on those service jobs being such a big chunk of the job sector here in the Valley. And we know that the wages with those types of jobs don't really always rise in line with the rising costs for things like housing and utilities. So while cheaper borrowing can help, it's not really going to erase those other pressures on our wallets on a day-to-day basis, right? So real estate in the big picture, this is where it gets kind of dicey for me because it's really a balancing act. Lower rates, as a real estate professional, I try to look at things, from the economic perspective. Lower rates can make homes more affordable in the short term, but if demand spikes and prices climb, it could leave some buyers out of luck. So really, it's about just knowing the local market, right? So knowing the area, what are things looking like over here? Maybe you have an idea like, I want to live in this neighborhood, but there's an equivalent house in a neighborhood that might not be as trendy. Maybe it's a new neighborhood, or maybe it's an older neighborhood, but it's something there. And, it's the prices aren't rising there. So you could easily move over here, if you're willing to give and take. But what's any business deal? Real estate, as much as I'm passionate about it because it's like, it's home, right? It's why I love cooking and food so much, is because it's where the family collects, the family unit. You come together, you build your life there with your spouse, with your children, with your grandparents, with your parents. You generations of you and your loved ones move through it. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, it starts and ends as a business deal. So it's always about knowing that it is a business deal and going into that with that understanding that I'm not going to let a business deal ruin what could potentially be the future for me and my loved ones, my children's future, things like that. So it's just, nobody in a good business deal, nobody walks away getting everything they wanted. But everybody walks away happy because a deal was made and everyone's happy. Everyone's getting what they want, whether it be a seller making some money on their home and a buyer moving into their home in their dreams, so that's the other thing. But you also have to keep an eye out on a lot of other things. Our homes being built, our prices stabilizing, continuing to rise. So all of that stuff, it could benefit local families, I think. We could be moving to areas, families moving into areas that they never expected. And all of a sudden, that's the catalyst for growth in that area of a city or a growing city or a small city or a rural area. It's the catalyst for services being brought that way. It's the catalyst for developers saying, hey, you know what this place needs? This place needs a restaurant, a gas station, an HEB that looks nice, that people can walk to. The city's now saying, hey, we should put a park on this land over here. That's what kind of happens when you're willing to, kind of not give up on your dream, but negotiate for the best possible version of your dream. So your wallet in the spotlight. Let's summarize how this rate could hit your everyday life, because after this, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to end the YouTube and Facebook version of the show and continue the conversation on TikTok, talking about anything, not just money and stuff. We're just talking, having fun over there. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, Rudy Mireles TV, that's how you can also follow me across all social media. Just search me up, Rudy Mireles TV, and you will find me. So for home buyers, lower rates might mean cheaper monthly payments, but higher demand could push more prices up. Borrowers, loans for cars or credit cards might get cheaper, saving you money each month. Savers, expect less growth in your savings accounts, which could mean tightening your belt in other areas, especially if you're one of those retirees living off your interest income. And for job seekers, businesses might have more opportunities to expand, potentially boosting job growth, but don't necessarily depend on that income being what you need to meet the rising costs of everything else. There's still some work to be done there in a lot of those sectors here in the Valley, and those are the sectors that are most likely to see growth here in these 4 counties. Now, for these counties where every dollar matters, these shifts might feel small, but they're going to add up. Whether it's paying off debt, saving for a house, or just managing day-to-day expenses, the changes are going to ripple, right? It's like going to the gym the first time, stepping on the scale when you get home and seeing an increase in weight because you had a lot of water while you were in there. Not going to make you feel good, man. Don't look at the scale every day. Same goes for your money. Don't look at it every day. Make the change and know that if you stay on the path, those changes are going to work. We can't depend on the Fed or anyone else or anything, right? We got to do what we can, empower ourselves to do whatever we can to control our financial futures. Now, that's it. That's going to do it for today, though, folks. I really appreciate it. As I said, we're going to continue the conversation, not just about this, but anything you guys want to talk about on TikTok. I know it's your lunch hour, but I appreciate everybody that's been joining me over there. I'll get over there in just a moment. Today's edition is powered by Gelman Vision. From LASIK to cataracts, board-certified cornea specialist Dr. Rachel Gelman will help you change the way that you see the world. Call 956-302-1015 or visit gelmanvision.com today to schedule a consultation. As some of you may know, I'm doing real estate now. All that knowledge that I would have shared on the TV with you before in 2-second snippets over a course of maybe 6 months, you can just call me and ask for that advice using my data science professional background and my housing background and my reporting and my marketing and just my overall knowledge of the Valley. Give me a call. I'm going to help you buy, sell, or invest here in the Rio Grande Valley. I work for Rio Realty now out of Brownsville, and we really would love for you to give us the opportunities to review. So give me a call, 956-230-7733, and let's make your life goals a reality together. That is going to do it for me. If you're on TikTok, stay with me. I'll be back in a few moments. For the rest of you, I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Stay